Welcome back to the 1971 Mustang. So, yeah, it has been a while since I have put an update up. And, once again, I did exactly kind of what I've been doing lately. Unfortunately for you guys, I've actually just been putting it together. I've gotten the attitude of David Freiberger of Motor Trend. Don't get it right, just get it running. And that is the attitude that I am at right now. I mean, I'm trying. I always thought that it'd be best that if I just did these videos for you guys and step by step, and I just thought that I would have all the time in the world to do that. But what I'm finding is I don't have all the time in the world to do that. Not only that, but when I need to work on something, I just pick up my wrenches or whatever and I just get to it. I mean, like, I just get going and I do it, and I forget the camera. And even if I did have the camera and took video of myself, when would I have time to actually put the videos up, right? Okay, so that I'm going off on a tangent, and I do apologize if you were expecting more out of me, because again, in the beginning I was all gung-ho and I was all about recording everything, and I totally admit that I really wanted to do that for you and myself, but I just realized that it's just not possible. So all right, so here we go. I believe the last time I talked to you guys, I basically was doing something here in the quarter panels and whatnot, and we got it all welded up. And then I got it over to my buddy's grandfather, and as you can see here, he did a really good job of leading and doing some Bondo here to get it all smoothed up, because we did not replace the ones that went clear up to here. Now, today, back then when I was looking for them, they were $1,200 per side. That's $2,400 for the car. Today, I can now find, or I don't know, I haven't looked probably for the last, 8 months or so, but 6 months. But the last I saw, I could get each side now all the way up to the top for about $600 a piece. And I bought these lower quarters here, which is really where all my metal was bad, for I think $250, almost $300 a piece. So I spent $600. Now I could have, well, again, I haven't checked, but lately, but 6 months ago, 8 months ago, I found a set for $600 a piece, and if that would have been the case back then, I would have done that, and I would have actually replaced it all the way up to the top, because honestly, after doing all the welding here and after doing all the leading and the Bondo and all that stuff, and then the seam sealing that I haven't done on the inside yet, honestly, I think I'd have been way far ahead and better off. But that's just my experience, and there's no turning back now. I'm fine with it. Let's just do it. I did it. Here we are. So, got the quarters in, got that all smoothed up, got the doors matched up here so far. Looking good. I'm going to have to, like I said, seam seal inside where the seam is at. Also, I got to put the trunk latch in yet here, right there, the support. Got to put the trunk itself in and get that all lined up. My light just went off. Let me turn that back on. There we go. And so I gotta, and then I'm gonna start doing some finishing inside the trunk as far as the undercoating, rubberized POR undercoating, what I'm gonna use, because again, that's what I used over here. And as you can see, it is dry. It's not rubbery. It doesn't smear off on your hand. But when you put your finger into it, it is flexible. I mean, it's pretty hard, but it is flexible. And I do like that look, and I like how it dries, because I remember back in high school, I actually did have my long time ago girlfriend. I actually had her wire brush it out and everything. She was looking for something to do, and anyway, she started doing that, and then I ended up getting in there with the Napa undercoating in there, and it is actually like sticky and grimy, and it doesn't dry very well. So I'm not going to do that again. But the POR, that's exactly what's going in there. Now, is that what I'm going to stop with? No, actually, I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to put that POR rubberized undercoating in there everywhere for the stippled, finish and look and all of that. And then I think I'm actually going to put my color over the top of everything in the trunk. And I think that blue would really lighten it up in there, and you'll be able to see real easy in there. Of course, you'll probably be able to see when it's dirty too, but I don't care. I just want it to look good, and I want it to brighten it up because I'm getting old. So, all right, over here, you can see here that I have my Junkyard Dog videos, by the way, for this engine. And yeah, I have like way jumped past a lot of things. So I don't really remember per se what was the last thing I did, but I think I had a short block. As you can obviously see, I have a long block now. These are my 68 heads that I had ported a long time ago, many years ago actually, off of a 68 Mexican block that I had found. I found the whole engine, and those are the heads off of it. They have, I believe, stock size valves, but I did port them out. You might be able to see here that they're nice and big, you know, on the exhaust side for sure. On the intake side, it's not that crazy, but I got it ported nicely. And I remember, I think they were 58 cc chambers, so I had them milled because I've used them, I think, twice now. And I had them milled because after taking it on and off and all that kind of stuff, it was getting kind of scratched up. Plus, I wanted to bump up the compression rate a little bit, shrink the chamber size a little bit. So that's what those are. Buddy of mine had a 1965 4-barrel cast iron intake manifold. I was going to use aluminum, but we didn't have one, and I really don't want to buy one, especially when I got a pretty nice one for free. And again, this engine here is not going to be the hot rod engine per se. But that's not to say that I may keep it in here and I may put the fuel injection on this one. That's not to say that, but as of right now, my plan is to get it in here as I have and put a carburetor on it, get it running, break it in, seat the ring, seat the camshaft and lifters and everything. And then after that, you know, just use it to back it in and out and all that kind of stuff, and then probably actually start building the other one. The one that was in there, actually, it was a roller block, and there it is underneath that right there, that garbage bag, and build a 331 is kind of what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming to build a 331 stroker with a roller cam and drop that in there and put the EFI on it with the Holley Terminator system. So that's my plan. We'll see how that goes. And but right now the engine is in. This is all cast iron here, baby. The only thing that isn't is the aluminum timing cover and the aluminum oil pan, and of course the aluminum valve covers. That's pretty much it. Everything else is cast iron or steel or whatever. And now when I push on the suspension here, we actually act like we got some weight. Before, with just the empty block and a crank in it sitting there, it, you know, you would bounce on it and it was pretty stiff. But now it acts like we've got a suspension. And obviously this is a full weight, basically Windsor. So I don't know how much that is, about 500 pounds, I would guess, based upon everything that is on there. But it's pretty hefty. I did get it all tied up to the flex plate back there, down in there. And I did, by the way, I did measure all that. So there's some, you know, a lot of people out there saying, hey, you know, what flex plate do I use for a C6, you know, C4, AOD, blah, blah, blah. Well, hey, I got the right one. I believe, I'm very certain I got the right one here for this C6 to small block bell housing pattern. And it would be, let's see right here, an FRA-202. So that is the part number that I used for a C6 to small block 302, 351, Windsor, 289, whatever you want to use, bell housing pattern. And I think it's going to work because I put it all in there. I did some measuring actually with a straight edge before, you know, I actually dropped the engine in there, and it was really good. So what happened was I ended up bolting it all together, dropping it down in there, and then when I went to put the flex plate, the torque converter bolts in there, it actually pulled the torque converter towards the flex plate about, I would say an eighth of an inch, maybe 3/16 of an inch, So that tells me that it actually pulled it away from the pump. So it's not smashed down in there, which is actually the problem with a lot of these. This is being one of them. This is actually a 100 and let's see here. Yeah, this is a 164 tooth, but it's a 50 ounce, by the way. But I sat it down here like this, and I took that other one and I laid it down here right next to it. And you could see that this one here, even though it has this recessed area right here, this area right here was actually taller than that FRA 202 that I just have in there. So even though, again, kind of got this recessed lip here, the other one doesn't look like it's recessed like this. It's just but definitely this one here is taller, so to speak, than that other one. And then if I had used this one and put that in there, it would have been tighter up against that. In fact, it could have. Well, obviously, first problem is this is a 50 ounce. That's the first problem. But outside of that, though, let's say it were a 28 ounce, 164 tooth is what you need. And it would actually be very likely pushing on the pump and therefore also pushing on the crank into the thrust bearing. And that is what a lot of people, discover, unfortunately, the hard way, is they discover that their pump gets, blown out or whatever, and or their crankshaft thrust bearing actually gets worn out. The crank starts clunking back and forth, etc. So, or they get, lots of shaving materials or whatever into their oil pan. But it spins over really nice. I got them all torqued up, got them all tightened down. I don't know if you know this or not, but these right here are small block Windsor 289, 302, 260 short head bolts is what those are, actually. I don't, I'm just kind of trying to grab parts and pieces from everything. And a fun fact, those happen to be short head bolts right here on a 302, 289, 260 that you can use for bell housing bolts. And hey, if they work for heads, I would imagine they will work for that. My modified motor mounts, they work perfectly. And then as you can see there, I tightened that lock nut up just to where it touches, because you don't really need to clamp it. All you need to do is, because it's got a lock nut on it, so it won't come loose. And tightened up all those bolts there on that modified bracket there that I made. Check out this room. Check out all the room right there. Easily be able to put the headers in there. If you're wondering what it's going to be like for a TCP rack and pinion, take a look at that. You can see that there's quite a lot of room. As you may remember, or you should know anyway if you've been following me, I did actually mock this whole car up on the rotisserie, and I did have it all together. So I believe that the header here will come in and out without actually having to, hopefully we won't have to lift the engine or something like that, but if we have to, I guess we have to. But it will be real easy. All you got to do is just loosen that bolt right there, pull it out, and it should just rock right over, no problem. But I have a feeling, based upon when I mocked it all up, it's going to work perfectly. It's going to work just fine. So this is basically where I'm at right now. I've got the C6 transmission in, I'm just being full honest with you. It's been a long time since I've done one, and boy, I'm a little bit nervous about startup on that, because I really hope that everything, works as expected. I hope I don't have any, like it won't shift or something like that, but I think I'm going to be okay. It's just been so long since I've done one. That's all. That's why I'm a bit nervous with that. And I really just hate the idea of having to pull the pan and pull the valve body and all of that stuff. Obviously, nobody likes doing that. But nonetheless, the biggest thing that I can tell you that I am very happy about is the fact that I did do a complete mock-up of this entire thing while it was on the rotisserie, because as of right now, everything is going together perfectly. Everything is it's just fitting. and it's crazy. But I mean, because I've got modified motor mounts, I got the rack and pinion, I've got a different cross member underneath there. I've got a lot of things that are not factory. The booster, the brake booster, all of that, the hydro boost, etc. It's going to be air conditioning. I mean, there's a lot of things that are way different, but I'm telling you, man, the mock-up was just the best thing I ever did, because this thing is just falling together when I go to put it together. So I'm very happy about that. And again, this is the update. This is where I'm at. I again do apologize for not really taking you along for the ride step by step. Some of these times, I wish I had all the money in the world and all the time in the world to be able to do that. I assure you, if I had my own shop and I had, at least 3 days a week or something like that, yeah, that's probably what I would do. But unfortunately, my job takes 10, 12-hour days during the week and sometimes the weekend. So unfortunately, it's tough. But I mean, I would really love to do nothing more than take you step by step, like a lot of other people do. But I got to pay the bills. I got to keep moving with my job. I got to keep people thinking and knowing that I'm actually doing the job that they hire me to do. I'm being watched by those people as well. So if I'm spending too much time on this, trust me, they're going to see it because it's out there in the internet land. But not that it's really any of their business, but hey, the point is that I've got other things I need to really be doing sometimes. But today is the day before Father's Day. By the way, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And so tomorrow, I don't know if I'm going to do anything on this or not, but I'm certainly going to be relaxing a little bit here just now. As soon as I'm done here, I'm going inside, and I'll just have this thing upload. And that's it, buddy. I mean, that's where we're at. I'm trying to think of the next step, actually. I have a guy. I know I said I was going to paint and I was going to do the body work, which I am prepared. Well, you can see I'm starting to do some body work too right there. But honestly, I've got a guy who's coming over to take a look at it because of the fact that I don't have time to do all of this stuff, because I really want to get this thing moving faster. And if he gives me the right price and whatnot, we're going to go ahead and have him do it. Just because I really want to get this thing moving much, much faster. And, I'm not looking for a show car, but I am looking for a durable and a decent paint job. That's really what I'm looking for, because, again, this is going to be my driver. So that's what I'm after. Hopefully he'll be able to produce that, no problem. And maybe we can get this thing moving a heck of a lot faster than I'm able to do it. And I don't think I won't have him do anything powertrain or anything like that. However, as far as body and paint, which is actually the thing I hate the most, honestly, yeah, I'm ready to have somebody take that over and do that. So, isn't it fascinating? Look at this. These shock towers here. They say that a coyote won't fit in there. Let's see here. I'm going to get they say that I wanted to put a coyote in here, by the way. They say that a coyote is 28 inches wide. Here's 28 right there. Boy, oh boy, I tell you what, that would be a tight fit. They say that you gotta, I've watched some guy online. Obviously, that brake booster would not work. That would have to move over for sure. But they say that that you would have to actually notch in those original shock towers a little bit more in order to get the coyote to fit. But it just that floors me, actually, because if you look at the amount of room now, it's just crazy big with this small Windsor. But anyway, that was what I wanted to do, but it looks like I'm not gonna do. So, all right. Thanks a lot for coming over. Like, subscribe. Rumble. Let's do Rumble, okay? I'm posting a lot of this stuff on Rumble. Yeah, I'm throwing it at my YouTube channel, I guess, just because I'm there for now. But quite honestly, go over and find me on Rumble, okay? If you like shit like this, dude, you're all about freedom. You're all about America. You're all about the spirit of what makes America. Go over to Rumble. You know it deep down in your heart. You believe it. You know it. You've seen it now. You should be waking up to this by this point. Um, Alphabet, YouTube, Google. Um, all of them basically, with the exception of Rumble, maybe a little bit of Twitter. They are really indoctrinating. They are really censoring. They're just being really freaking stupid. Okay, and it's time for us to wake up. They hate us. They want to take our hobbies like this and they want to eliminate it. They'll let you buy all the parts and everything from them, Amazon and all that kind of stuff, of course. But when it comes down to it, they support the EPA. They support the global warming initiative. They support all of that bullshit. And you all know that it's bullshit. If you really just wake up and do the studies, dude, you know it's bullshit. Okay? I've been living my life damn near 50 years. I'm telling you, there's no difference between the temperature now and it was over 50 years ago in retrospect. I mean, as in, like, there's no major difference. Okay? It was hot back then. It's hot now. It was cold back then. It's cold now. It's called seasons for a reason. Okay? Depending on where you are, of course. But for me, it's fall, summer, well, not in that order, but spring, summer, fall, and winter is what it is. And all these fucking people that are on board with that big old global warming bullshit, why are they buying mansions and houses right next to the fucking ocean if the ocean is going to rise up and swallow the land? Huh? Really? They don't even believe it. So again, let's support industry like this. Let's support people that do things like this. Let's support small breweries instead of Bud Light, and Anheuser-Busch and that kind of stuff. Let's support mom and pop stores over Target, etc. Let's support whatever we can do to get away from the indoctrination and the stupid bullshit. And all they want to do is control you. They want to control us. Let's support that. And probably me saying this is going to get me banned, possibly on YouTube. So you're probably going to have to come over to Rumble and find me at some point, because I am no longer holding back. I'm no longer staying silent. It is a thing. It is real. And if you don't do anything about it now, because you think, well, it doesn't affect me, or it will. It will affect you, and if it doesn't affect you, it'll affect your kids, it'll affect your grandkids, it'll affect your cousin, it'll affect your spouse. It will affect you at some point. And it's time to say, stop. Time to say, this is bullshit. Time to say, we are Americans for a reason. Okay? Now, maybe you are in England or Australia or whatever, and you're watching this. I don't know, dude. I can't help you. You've got to come up with your own little rebellion or whatever you're going to be doing down there in your country or whatever. Or move here if you want to, where you're welcome to, as long as you do it the right way. That's all I ask you to do. But my point is that we got to wake up, people. And so start finding me on Rumble. Again, I'm going to be putting it on YouTube because it actually puts it automatically to Rumble. But at some point, Rumble's going to take off. I guarantee it. And when it does, you will probably not see me on YouTube anymore by choice. I will literally say no more. Okay. Sorry to get political. Yep, I did it again. I went on my rant. But I'm telling you, people, if we don't take a stand, we will not have this kind of stuff to be able to do anymore. They will make it illegal. They will outlaw it. They will stop it to where you can't even buy parts. You can't buy gas. I mean, you think it's stupid. You might think it's stupid, maybe. Or maybe you already know the truth. But I'm just telling you that they are pushing hard for the electric agenda. They are pushing hard for a lot of shit that just isn't going to work. Okay? So we can't be silent anymore. And if I'm too political for you, then fuck you. Because I don't know what to tell you. You need to wake up and look around, and you need to see what's happening. And if that offends you, honestly, I don't care. Because you've got to wake up. I've woke up. I get it. But at the same time, I'm tired, and I'm done being, super friendly to everybody who is trying to take away my rights and my freedoms. And if you're one of them, you know what? Go move to another country or something like that. And I'm not saying you got to live there forever, but do it for a month or two, and then realize just how lucky you are here. Really, seriously. And because I have been out of the country, and I have lived in other countries for just a short period of time, but enough to know that what we have here has to be protected, have to be preserved, and have to be upheld. All right, I'm done. Thanks again. Rumble, 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 baby. Like and subscribe for now, I guess. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.